For those of you who didn't catch it, here is a bit of a recap of my presentation at the Queensland School Principals Conference in Brisbane. When I was asked to speak at the QSPA Conference, I started to reflect on what it truly means to be a Queensland public school student. Well, I was once a Queensland Government School student, and in my current work, I am lucky enough to speak with Queensland school teachers and leaders every day about digital learning. I was also once a Queensland school teacher myself, although the majority of my career was spent at an international school in Dubai. But it is this disparate experience that has afforded me a unique perspective and appreciation for the Queensland school experience. For this reason, I'd like to walk you through a couple of weeks in the life of some Queensland Government School students with Education Perfect. But first things first, getting access to Education Perfect is now simplified with our standing offer arrangement with Education Queensland. This means that you can be assured of best pricing and a streamlined procurement process, eliminating the need for multiple quotes. So please scan the QR code that's here for more information. So back to our Queensland school students. Our students start their day, of course, with a 50-cent fare on the train or bus and arrive at school in balmy 40-degree weather, either with a broken air conditioner or, back in my day, we didn't have air conditioning in each classroom, so I think a lot has changed. They settle into class with Mr. Ryan, who's named after no one in particular. Today, they're starting a new topic, so Mr. Ryan assigns a piece of EP assessment as a pop quiz to get to know his students' learning needs. They access it through EP's integration with Canvas or QLearn, minimizing the number of windows they're working in, while Mr. Ryan monitors it in real time, tracking when they get stuck or off task. Once they complete their quiz, our students immediately view their results, broken down into topics, and automatically assign some smart lessons based on their assessment data. Mr. Ryan too can see their results and analytics, but more on that later as the final bell just rang, coinciding with a nasty tropical low that forces our Queensland students to make their way home in a hailstorm. For those of you from North Queensland, this is what you might call a slight drizzle. Once safe and sound at home, they get started on completing their automatically recommended smart lessons as homework. Despite the fact that they're working independently, our Queensland students are really well engaged because they have ample support from within the platform itself. They have no need to swap between apps, Google search, or use AI. When they encounter a concept that they don't quite understand, they simply highlight the text and have EP's AI reading aid break it down into simple language and put it in context of the lesson itself. If they get stuck on any of the short answer questions, they can ask for smart hints, which reframe and scaffold the question without ever giving them the answer. And most importantly, for those higher level extended responses, they're given an immediate mark out of 5 stars and actionable feedback on what they've done well and how they can improve their answer. They can edit and refine their answer as many times as they like and continue to get that AI feedback to level up. Back at school the next day, and Mr. Ryan, utilizing the time he's saved on marking the quiz, has already used the data from the readiness assessment to inform his teaching, celebrating success with his class and identifying opportunities for growth. He uses the topic data to plan his teaching. He creates differentiated activities for students that require intervention or those requiring extension. And he also uses some specific questions that students found challenging as worked examples with the whole class. After a couple of weeks of focused teaching, and by the time Queensland has come back to secure a Game 2 victory in the state of origin, Mr. Ryan decides to run another quick quiz to check for growth and reflect on his own teaching. Because most EP assessments have question banks, he can assign the same assessment again and not have to worry about repeated questions. Students complete this quiz and again view their results and any smart lesson recommendations that come their way. But even more powerful, Mr. Ryan now has a second set of assessment data for comparison, which means that he can track real student growth or identify skills in which students have regressed. He uses this dashboard here to have meaningful conversations with his students and their parents in a parent-teacher interview. While our students work their way through the automatically assigned recommendations with AI feedback, Mr. Ryan has been summoned into the office of his head of department, Ms. Emma. You see, Miss Emma is a Blues fan and still smarting over their recent loss in Game 2 of the State of Origin, and is taking out her frustrations on Mr. Ryan. she has asked him for a comprehensive update on how his class is tracking against each one of the curriculum descriptors. Pretty typical Blues behaviour, if you ask me. Luckily enough, because our students have been completing EP assessments as quizzes, he already has a whole bunch of data points presented in an intuitive and interactive table called Learning Snapshots. He also very tactfully points out that school leaders can view the cohort level achievement of Learning Snapshots at any time without having to hassle the teacher for the data. The final exam is coming and our Queensland students are a little bit nervous, so Mr. Ryan decides to create a fun revision activity that's personalised for his students' needs. For this, he uses EP Create, EP's AI content creator. He selects the subject, year level, curriculum descriptors, and then enters a unique prompt to make it more meaningful for his students. Our Queensland students are of course into surfing and marine life in general, so in seconds EP Create generates an auto-mark quiz complete with insightful feedback messages on that topic. Mr. Ryan, however, decides that his class has had enough screen time for the week and he wants to see more pen on paper. So he sends this new quiz and the automatically generated answer sheet to the printer. Its highly intuitive format makes it easy for our students to both complete and peer review. Okay, exam day is here, and because he wants to be really specific about what he tests, Mr. Ryan built his own exam within the EP platform, taking advantage of the auto marking and data analytics. Also, while our Queensland students would never dream of cheating, the stakes are high, so Mr. Ryan decides to roll out the assessment in EP's Safe Exam Browser integration, just to be sure. With the Safe Exam Browser activated, students have to complete the assessment from within the browser, in which they cannot copy and paste, switch between apps, or even lock the screen, until of course they either finish the assessment or are provided an exit code by the teacher. Again, all the data is collected and can be used for further growth comparison, and with the Canvas or QLearn integration, all results will filter through to the Markbook area. All this in time for a Queensland victory in the State of Origin Game 3 decider. Thank you very much for listening to me today, but before I go, I'd like to convey that while this is certainly an ideal use case for EP, there is no one-size-fits-all solution. I've seen great results from schools utilising just one of these elements, some of these elements, or all these elements in their journey. Education Perfect is designed to fit in with and extend a teacher's established practice, and that, above all, is what makes it truly powerful. Thank you.